Satellite images of the Earth are used in Geographic Information Systems, or GIS, mostly for scientific purposes. Now, an artist in Ashtabula County is transforming the beauty and complexity of GIS into colorful quilts.
Hi, I'm Deb Berkebile. I am a mechanical engineer by day, and every other waking hour or minute, I am an artist. I do art quilts. I take satellite imagery and create, actually from fabric, these depictions of the art satellite imagery. I take hand-dyed fabrics. All of my fabrics are either dyed with Procyon dyes or shibori or whatever the colors I am needing. I hand dye my own fabric now. I went to Chicago and bought my quilting machine from a quilt festival up there. I had done quilting before. I really wanted to do customer quilting to get a little bit of more money, so I actually started customer quilting. But then in 2014, I went back to school again and started doing GIS.
So I'm a professor of geography and geospatial technology. The GIS in that stands for Geographic Information Systems, which is a part of the overall geospatial approach to mapping and to gathering information about the Earth's surface. And GIS involves the computer systems that acquire, store, analyze, and produce data that can then be used to make maps and to be integrated into models about the world around us.
I found some images, the satellite images, in a class, remote sensing class, and I fell in love with the colors and the variations and just how bright and cheerful these images were. Right after I got my certificate in GIS, I started not working in the field, but I started doing art quilts of the satellite imagery. Most of my clients do piecing of different patterns that are traditional. There are a few that do some art quilts, but most of them are traditional piece quilts. So the art quilt world, you know, they like the traditional quilts. There are a few quilt shows that mostly show your traditional quilting. Just in the last probably, I would say 15 years, maybe 20, the art quilts have become more successful, and actually now they have more categories and they're more juried into your quilt shows. I like to actually go into just the art world itself and go into some juried shows of different mixed media. A lot of people say, oh, quilting is dying, but it's really not. If you look and go Google, there are quilting guilds. A lot of people aren't familiar with them because they think that the quilting world is, you know, very low, but if you Google quilting guilds just in your area, you'll find quite a few.
Well, we're both fiber artists, although she's a true artist and I just mess around. I had seen this quilt under construction, and Deb had never been to Yellowstone or seen the Grand Prismatic Spring, which I have. So to be in her presence when she saw it was just so special. And of course I told everyone we saw, well, she made a quilt like this, and here we are.
So when I was at Lakeland, my professor, he was very interested and was very good at like remote sensing, and that was one of my favorite things during the class time one of the classes that I took.
Deb is one of those students who has multiple talents, and she was working for a company doing mostly SolidWorks engineering. And so Deb came to Lakeland to get her certificate as an adult already in the workforce. She wanted to add GIS to her skill set. And that all seemed well and good, and here's an engineer coming to us and taking classes, and we're off to a great start. And in one of the classes that I was teaching in remote sensing, it was 10 years ago in spring of 2013, I remember the day when we were doing an introduction to Landsat satellite imaging, where we start seeing all those images with colors on the screen, and we can look at the world through a new lens and a new perception, and we can begin to detect and understand what's going on with things like vegetation and rock formations and so on. And all of a sudden, Deb clears her space and starts scribbling away on a piece of paper, and everybody else has their nose on the computer screen doing their lab assignment. So, of course, I asked Deb, "Hey, Deb, what's going on?" And she says, "Oh, I'm doing a quilting pattern."
The first one I ever did was the Painted Desert, and it has been around the country. It has been in several shows, and I'm very proud of it because people, when they look at it, they say, "So how do you do this?" The Painted Desert and the Eye of Sahara are two of my first ones that I've done, and they're very unique. They do not have the hand-dyed fabrics, but they're mostly batik fabrics. But they are one of my, proudest moments, I guess, of starting the art quilt world. The GIS quilts, what actually got me inspired for that was I found images in a book that's called Earth as Art. There's a few of them published, and it's all satellite imagery from NASA. So you looking at a satellite image and it's green doesn't mean that it's vegetation. Sometimes the color red is your vegetation, like during some of the glaciers, red will be your vegetation. So the colors of that really fascinated me.
It's her curiosity, ultimately, I think, that's impressive. Her artistic ability is incredible, but certain people have the gift and the talent to interact with the world in a particular way.